This program has been sponsored by the University of Alaska Anchorage College of Business and Public Policy.
December 18, 2011 marks the 40th anniversary of the passage of the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. It paved the way for construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and brought Alaska out of the Ice Age. But the politics that led up to the Act's passage included an intense period of negotiations both in the nation's capital and here at home. All this at a time in our history when there was little transportation infrastructure or telecommunications, and nearly no television or news coverage of any type to inform all Alaskans whose futures would be impacted so much by passage of the Act. To analyze ANCSA and the pipeline is former Democratic Senator Mike Gravel. Gravel and the late Senator Ted Stevens served Alaska in the U.S. Senate during this hopeful yet tumultuous time. I want to welcome today as my guest former Alaska U.S. Senator Mike Gravel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're very happy that you could make it. We feel like it was essential to our series, and so we're very happy to have you here.
I'm honored to be here.
Let's take we've had a chance to talk a little bit before the show, a little bit about Alaska and your long history here. Take us back to the 1960s and what it was like here in the state and who was in charge.
Well, of course, I first came here in the late 50s, mid to late 50s. And who was in charge? Politically, the Democrats were in charge. You had a Democratic governor, 2 U.S. senators, a congressman. The legislature was democratically controlled, overwhelmingly so. And then in the election of 62, where I was elected and started serving in 63, the division in the state representative house was 50-50, and Bruce Kendall, a Republican, got elected to be Speaker. I became the Speaker after Bruce Kendall and was involved in focusing on Native affairs. In fact, as Speaker, I was also the chairman of the Legislative Council. And so the first time in Alaskan history, we took key members of the legislature under the budget of the Legislative Council and went out and held hearings in rural Alaska. Mm-hmm. And that was a first.
And it was also difficult. I mean,
back
then, transportation was much different.
I think we were 5 or 6 members of the council, and we would load into a Pilatus Porter airplane, and then we would just go into the village area. And of course, when I subsequently campaigned for the House seat at that time in '66, I went to probably over a year's time, went to over 100 villages. And of course, my base of power in Alaska was the Native community.